Hello guys, and welcome to this another video of Angular 2 series for absolute beginners. And in this video and few upcoming videos, we are going to discuss about directives in Angular. So basically guys, directive is something which you place in your HTML which resembles your regular HTML, and then it helps you extend the properties of your HTML. We'll see all this in detail what it actually means, but before going into details, let us first see what all directives do we have in Angular. Basically guys, there are three kinds of directive available to us in Angular. The first one of them are components, and then we have structure directives, and then we have behavior directives. So basically components are the same thing that we have been discussing in our last few videos, and yes, they are also a part of directives. And then we have something called structure directives, which helps Angular to change the existing structure of a DOM. And then behavior directives, which helps us not change the structure but modify the behavior of any existing DOM. Now guys, I'm not going to discuss more about components in this video because uh, we have already discussed a lot amount of what component does, what it looks like, and how do we write them. In this video we are going to focus on structure directives, and in the next video we'll see what are behavior directives. For this video guys, I have added another component to my project, that is person component, and I have all the files from the person component in my editor right here. I have already added the person component to my module, and here is how person component looks like for now. This is the HTML file that it has. Now guys, we'll be seeing the structure directives, and there are basically three major structure directives available to us in Angular. So the first one of them is ngFor. Basically what ngFor does is it helps you iterate any array or any iterable onto your screens. So we already know how we can iterate inside an array using a for loop or a for each loop, right? So we get to work on each element or each instance of that array. But how do we perform such a similar task on our screens, on our HTML side? So that will be seen using ngFor. Okay, to quickly demonstrate the usage of ngFor, let me create a, array kind of structure. Basically it's array only. So person list, and let me give some name to it. So okay, let's not sort of, let's make it Superman maybe, and then something called Spider-Man. Okay, let me put another name, that is Batman. Okay, so we have basically name of three superheroes here inside our person list, and we want to iterate each one of them on our screen. So let us see how do we do that. In our component guys, this is all I have for now in my component HTML. Now guys, just wait while I write this syntax. ngFor is equal to, okay, let person of person list. Okay guys, so this is the way that we use ngFor directive. The left hand side, this particular portion is the syntax for placing your directive. This is the way you place it, like a regular attribute on your DOM, right? So that is why directives are called as DOM markups, because they are nothing else but a kind of regular attributes to your HTML. The way you use your attributes, in the similar way you will be using directives. One important thing about directives, especially structure directives, is they are all prefixed with a um, star sign, right? So whenever you see something like this, some attribute prefixed with a star sign, it's easy to recognize that it is a structure directive. And on the right hand side of this directive guys, if you see, I have something called let person of person list, which this what this basically means is I'm asking Angular to iterate on every person inside the person list. So this means every instance or every element inside the person list. This person list should be the same name that we have in our person component right here, person list. um, while this person is just a name given to the instance of that person list. This can very well be p or x if you want, but here for simplicity I will make it person. That makes more sense. Okay, so now I have every instance of this person list inside this person object, and it will be iterated as many number of times as there are element in this person list. So I get to use this person list for each instance. So all I need to do is I need to find it here. If I just want to display it, I can use this person list, and using our interpolators, basically we can bind it to our screens, and this should be working fine. Yeah, here we go. So we have all the three names on the screen iterated like this. Basically we had only one paragraph text, but since it is inside this ngFor directives, it is iterated three times with one instance at a time. So you see Superman, then you see Spider-Man, and then you see Batman. Just to make things more clear, let me put some string here. One of the person is person. So this should be more readable now. One of the person is Superman, one of the person is Spider-Man, one of the person is Batman. So guys, this is what ngFor directive actually does. It repeats a particular template or whatever you provide to it. It repeats it for every element inside iterable, right? Now guys, this div tag here is important because this is the host element for this ngFor directives. And now everything inside a host element comes under the scope of the directive that we put on that host element. So the template for this directive becomes this paragraph text, and this particular template is repeated as many number of times as they are the element. Now this is also important to note that we can place only one structure directive on any node. If I have already placed this ngFor directive on this div node, I can't go ahead and place any other structure directive on this node. Okay. Now guys, we have seen the usage of ngFor. Let's quickly see the other structure directive that is called ngIf. And what ngIf does is it looks for a particular condition. It takes a particular condition along with it, and whenever that particular condition gets to be true, it shows the template, that is the template inside it, inside its scope. And whenever that condition turns out to be false, it completely removes that template from the DOM. So let's quickly see how it looks like. I'm going to use ngIf on this paragraph text, and I'm giving it the condition that person should be equal to Spider-Man. Okay. Yes. Okay. So what I have done right now is I have used this ngIf directive on this paragraph tag, and then I have given it a condition that the person instance for this particular paragraph tag should be equal to Spider-Man, and only then should this paragraph text be displayed. So if you see on the screen, I have only one Spider-Man tag. I have only one paragraph tag which says Spider-Man. The other two have been removed from the screen. So one thing to note is the other two tags has been completely removed from the screen. They are not hidden somewhere, or they are not commented somewhere. Basically, they have been removed or deleted from your DOM, right? They are no more part of the DOM itself. Okay, just to see, just to make things more clear, let me do this. Not equal to Spider-Man, ngIf person not equal to Spider-Man. So in this case, I get to see Superman and Batman, which is as expected, because the condition now is the person should not be equal to Spider-Man. So whenever the instance of this person becomes equal to Spider-Man, that particular node is removed from the DOM. Okay. Next guys, we are going to see another important structure directives in Angular, that is ngSwitch. So for now I'm going to remove this uh, ngIf from here. Okay, let's remove this, and let's see how ngSwitch look like. Okay, so I had this code copied, and this is how ngSwitch basically look like synthetically. Now guys, ngSwitch in itself is not a directive, it's just a property which takes a variable, a class variable, and then it looks for that variable name inside a set of ngSwitch cases that goes along with ngSwitch. So to explain it, uh, here we have this ngSwitch property, and it takes a fab person. This is a variable name, this is a class variable from your component, and what it does is it looks for this fab person name, and it matches it against each ngSwitch case. So it matches it again this against this Spider-Man and against this Superman, then again this Batman, and whenever in whichever case this fab person equals one of them, that particular node is displayed while the other nodes are not displayed. So to use this on screen, what I need is, first of all, I need to have this fab person. I believe I don't have it right now. Yes, I don't have it. So private fab person is equal to, let me make it Batman. Okay, so my favorite person is Batman right here, and now this should make more sense. So I have a value inside my fab person class variable, and this value, if matches any one of them, that particular paragraph text will be displayed. Otherwise there is something called ng default that gets by default displayed. Okay guys, let's quickly see it if this works. I'll save it and we'll navigate to a browser. Yeah. So if you can see now, along with this ngFor usage, I have something below here. My favorite person is Batman. So this basically is coming from this ngSwitch directive. Let me change that favorite person from Batman to Superman. Let's check this out. And my favorite person is Superman. So basically, if you see, I had three paragraph tag in my regular HTML in my DOM, but out of them only one gets displayed depending on what the current value of fab person is. Okay guys, so these were the three common structure directives that I wanted to discuss with you. They are used very often, so it's very important to note or to remember the way that are being used, the syntax that they carry along with themselves, and basically what they take. Like this ngFor directive takes a person list, while this ngSwitch takes just a class property, and our ngIf takes a condition that is evaluated to be true or false. Okay guys, in our next video we'll be discussing about behavior directive. Till then, um, uh, if you like the video, please like it or subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next one.